All right. I'm getting it together here. Hello, Steve. Hello, Mike Wheeler. Mike Wheeler, so glad that you are here, my friend. Just watching the video of you going to Walt Disney World to meet up with these guys has been amazing. And so I consider you a friend. I look forward to meeting you. Mike, thanks for coming here. Jedi Balloon Master, Bax, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Good to have Bax here. Steve, I am actually live now, but I will catch the replay. Okay, sorry, Steve. You're live. Okay, I didn't realize that. Sorry about that. Bax says, first time here on the live stream. Thanks, Bax. Nice to have you here. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure what happened, Steve, so thanks. Bob, hello, how you doing? I am doing my top 22 freakishly good performances, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. Hello, Noah. Nice to have you here. Guys, I basically got an idea earlier tonight, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to do this tonight. And then in the end, I'm like, what am I doing? So anyway, good to have you here. Good to have 5 people here. So sorry about the loud audio for those who heard that. Hopefully it's adjusted now. I'm not sure what happened. All right. So guys, I purposely somewhat did this late so that I could do this, let's just say, with a less than busy crowd tonight. I felt like I needed to get through this idea, and I'm going to explain it, with, maybe with a little less than the this and that kind of crowds where you've got hundreds of people watching. So it's already 10 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. It's 11 o'clock out east. So good to have you here. Just a few of you. Steve had to duck out, I think, Bob, because he is actually on a live stream right now. So I did not notice that was happening. I thought I got beyond the live streams, but I probably should have double checked. So, all right. Hope to see you at Disney sometime. I hope to see you too, Bax. I'll be down there sometime in the next 5 months or so. All right. Here's the deal. I'm making this video. At first I thought, I'm just going to do this as a vlog and just make a professional video about what I believe are 22 freakishly good performances that I've seen in movies. I have you playing. Okay. You're on Dole Whip Dads. Okay. Yeah, I figured Dole Whip Dads was probably over by now, but I forgot to check. So thanks for telling me that, Steve. No worries. And you guys, you know what? Honestly, if people aren't here and I have a low crowd, that's all good. I'm definitely just going to make this video for the archives, just to share what I think are 22 amazingly good performances that I've seen in movies. And so I've been talking to my son, Jordan, about doing this for some time, and he helped me out, and we were talking about great performances, and I came up with some sort of guidelines for me wanting to do this. And the guideline is simply this. I wanted to share some are not family-friendly movies. So I'm going to say that they are not movies I would recommend for the whole family, but I'm going to say that with each movie. It's either going to say family-friendly in the top left corner or it's not. I will tell you that I got, I think, less than half I consider family-friendly. So anyway, that is what this is all about. And so anyway, let's go ahead with this. So I picked 22. After I picked 22, hey, Pam's fan, nice to have you here. I'm sharing my 22 freakishly good performances, and basically, as I got it done and then I rethought about it and I talked to my friend about it, I realized, man, there's so many other ones that I didn't get to mention. There's going to be ones that you're going to think, how could you not mention that? Well, for me, I just did the ones that came to my mind when I sat down and made it. So Bob says, did you see Resort TV 1 was on an Illuminations cruise tonight with Michael Kay and his brother? Oh, awesome. And Dave, that's really cool. No, I did not see that, Bob. Let's see. Mike Wheeler says, hey there, everybody. Sorry I had to turn down my volume because it kept getting too loud and I couldn't hear my text-to-speech over it. You know what, Mike, I apologize. I don't know what happened. When the audio got done, there was some pegging audio going on, and hopefully I've taken care of that. Hey, Miguel, good to have you here. T-Town Mary Ellen, Texas Takes, wow. And Daniela, Disney Life for Me. This is awesome. All of a sudden, some great people are popping on. Nice to have you here. T-Town Mary Ellen goes live at the end of the month with Charlie O'Brien, former baseball player, professional. So definitely check out her channel. Miguel and Daniela, of course, you guys know them. Disney Life for me, they're game nights. So good to have you here. Yeah, sorry about that, Mike. I'm going to have to figure out why the audio did that feedback like that. Can I ask Bob or anyone, is the audio okay now? Because it was pegging some weird audio here. And I think I have a problem with this laptop. So let me know if the audio is okay now before I move on. I got to tell you, this is like one of those last minute deals. I thought, okay, I'm just going to do this tonight. I'm going to get it done. It's been on my mind for a while. It was a lot of work. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, audio's fine now. Thanks, Bob. Audio's great. Thanks, Noah. All right, we got 11 on. I'm really happy to have you here. Texas Takes, great to have you here. So let's go with it. 22 great performances. I call them freakishly good performances. As I said, they will not all be necessarily what I would call family-friendly movies. In other words, I wouldn't recommend them for the whole family, but I'll let you decide. So, all right, here we go. We're going to start with number 22. Obviously, work our way down. And number 22 is, I'm going to have to click on it here, is from Lord of the Rings. Now, I know, and I didn't really do this for this reason, but I know we got a lot of Lord of the Rings fans here. If Meg was watching, I know she would give me a wholehearted amen on this one. And when I thought about Lord of the Rings, I thought, man, there's so many great performances in there. I chose Brad Dourif, which is, of course, Grima Wormtongue, because to me, it was just so darn good that it just was freakishly good. So hopefully I don't use the word freakish too much. And now, were there other great performances? Of course, Lord of the Rings. Bob and I talk about it all the time. We both love Theoden. We both, Denethor from the third one was amazing. Samwise Gamgee, I think, actually either won a nomination or even an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. So Grima Wormtongue is Brad Dourif, and if I'm pronouncing that right, amazing performance. I'm not going to talk a lot about the movies themselves. Just going to bring it up for our live discussion and share my 22 favorite performances. Thanks, T-Town Mary Ellen. Okay, that was number 22. Let's go to number 21. Okay, so Robin Williams. Now, I have a few of these that I put in here basically as a nod to these actors or actresses. And I think Robin Williams was just, he starts off, he's obviously a comedian, Mork and Mindy. We probably don't take him as a serious actor, but he became such an amazing actor and so many great performances. I felt like I had to pick one of his movies. And I just looked at them all and I said, this one was kind of a freakishly good one. And if you haven't seen Fisher King, you notice I don't have the family friendly. If you notice on Lord of the Rings, I had family friendly. It's a little dark, but I still would call it family friendly. Pam Sam says, is it bad I haven't watched Lord of the Rings movies? It's not bad at all, Pam. I would just simply say one of the finest trilogies ever. Really recommend it. So if you're bored, I would definitely watch it. If you're not a science fiction kind of person or whatever, whatever. Some people just don't care for the Star Wars, the Lord of the Rings, and that sort of thing. So Pansan says he was an amazing actor, so I'm going to assume you meant Robin Williams, and I agree. And Fisher King was a movie I don't consider family friendly, a little bit of a dark subject, but I'll tell you what, the performance in there was really good. And so this is the movie I decided to give as a nod to Robin Williams, a great actor. Mike Willer says, Pam, don't feel bad, neither have I, but I have heard the soundtrack and it's amazing. Yeah, one of the best soundtracks of all time. All right, let's move on. Number 20. And remember, I'm getting your comments a little bit delayed, so if I miss it, hopefully I'll catch it here. Number 20. This is definitely more of a nod kind of performance, and that is Emma Thompson. Now, a lot of you in the Disney community love Emma Thompson because she was in Saving Mr. Banks. And while I thought she was amazing in Saving Mr. Banks, I thought she was a little bit better in Sense and Sensibility. And it's a great movie, written by, the same person who wrote Pride and Prejudice. I always forget the name. So Emma Thompson, great actress, was a great movie. It's a chick flick, but it was one of the better ones. So I recommend that. Let's see. Back says Robin was and still is awesome. Yes, absolutely is. All right. T-Town Maryland loves Emma Thompson. She's great. I put her at the level of a Meryl Streep. I think she's that good. So, all right, let's move on. 19. So Christian Bale. I think a lot of you in this community would probably associate him with the Batman movies. I didn't think those were freakishly good. But The Fighter, which is definitely not, there's a lot of swearing in The Fighter, but it is a freakishly good performance with Mark Wahlberg here. Christian Bale won an Academy Award for this. Amazing performance. So I give it a definite great performance, but not family friendly. So, all right. Mike Willer says, I love Christian Bale in Moulin Rouge. I never saw that one. All right. Taking a breather a little bit. Still have 10 here. And thank you for joining. Let's go to number 18. All right, Daniel Day-Lewis. Now, Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm going to tell you something here. Even though I got this at number 18, I think he is the best actor of all time. The reason I do is because you're going to see him again. I'll just tell you that much. You're going to see him again in my list. And he buried himself in his roles. And so, Bob, you probably know one of the ones that I'll get to. But I'll tell you what, Daniel Day-Lewis, very diverse performances. He's done some movies that have been dark. And Gangs of New York, I don't, totally not family friendly. But you see him in the beginning when they're having that brawl, the guy just comes out and he commands the stage right away. So, and Daniel Day-Lewis is now retired. So definitely Daniel Day-Lewis, my favorite actor, number 18 from the Gangs of New York. And like I said, I don't recommend it as a family-friendly movie. All right, but I did see it. All right, next one is a family-friendly movie. This is one that I'm guessing very few of you have ever heard of or seen. Bob says, I'm expecting you will be getting to the best movie of all time. I will, Bob. You are definitely right. But it won't be the best performance of all time. But I'm definitely going to get to the best movie of all time. I think we're thinking of the same person in the same movie. Mike Lewis says, never mind, Christian Bale was not in Moulin Rouge. Oh, okay. All right. Well, he's been in a lot of stuff. And The Fighter was just amazing. So, all right. So, James Woods. Now, when James Woods came out on the scene, I believe the Promise with, what's that guy's name there? Oh, I knew I was going to get tongue-tied. That guy, you see him there, and I can't remember his name. But he had a show, and anyway, it was one of those freakishly good performances. He played a very high-strung guy who was forced to live with his older brother later in life because of a situation, and it was just about them working out some things from the past. James Wood, high energy actor, done a lot of great stuff, but The Promise, which was, I believe, his first movie, was amazing. So there you go. And it's family friendly. It was actually done by Hallmark. So don't normally like Hallmark. Oh, James Garner. Thanks, Mary Ellen. Yeah, James Garner. So Rockford Files, right? So James Woods, great actor, great performance in The Promise. And by the way, if you're interested in just checking it out, I saw that the full movie is available on YouTube for free. So definitely check that out. Pam's Fam says, so far, haven't seen any of these movies. Guess I need to catch up on movie watching. Well, I like good movies, Pam, and so that's just me. Rockford Files, exactly right. Texas Takes, that's exactly right. So James Woods, The Promise. Let's go to number 16. All right. Definitely, when I saw Platoon, back in whenever, I believe it was probably the early 90s or so, or maybe late 80s. When this movie came out, it was groundbreaking. It brought the realities of Vietnam in a way that were just very startling. And William Dafoe was amazing. There was just something about this movie that took, war movies to a whole new level. Yeah, it is so filled with swearing that it's definitely not family friendly. In fact, my son and I tried to watch it one night, but it just went way over the top. So William Dafoe, definitely a great performance. And Texas Take says the music score was amazing, and my son plays that score for me on YouTube, and I forget what it's called. If you know, let me know. But yes, it's an amazing score for that movie. So William Dafoe, Platoon, number 16. Samuel Barber, Adagio for strings. If I'm saying that right, exactly. Clear play it. If you clear play Platoon, you will hear 20 words at the most. But yes, if you can clear play it, that's the way to go. And it really is. It's a good movie. I did like it. Mike Willer says, Disney. Oh, okay. All right, let me go on to the next one. And the next one is, and Bob, I think you'll get a kick out of this one, or you'll appreciate this one, is Johnny Depp. Now, Johnny Depp, however you stand on Johnny Depp, the guy is an amazing actor. Most of us think of him in the Pirates of the Caribbean, but his better performance, I think by far, was in Ed Wood. Ed Wood was one of those, Ed Wood was the director who made Plan 9 from Outer Space or something like that. Bob, confirm for me what the famous movie that Ed Wood did was, but I believe it was like Plan 9 from Outer Space or something. Yeah, and he says he was hilarious in that. Noah says Jack Sparrow, exactly right. Johnny Depp, what a great actor. He's done so many different roles, and I just had to give a nod to Johnny Depp, and I felt Ed Wood, amazing movie. Pam, guessing you won't have seen Ed Wood. And Texas Takes says Gilbert Grape too. Very, very good point. He was amazing in that. And Pam's Fam says the same thing. Loved him in Gilbert Grape, yes. Mike Willer says Johnny Depp in Edward Scissorhands, amazing movie. I know, Mike, when I watched that movie, it was so unique, and it was just very different. And here Johnny Depp, he creates these roles. He's unlike any other actor in many ways. So very good point. Bob confirmed it is Plan 9 from Outer Space that Ed Wood wrote, which is just this crazy, really dumb movie. And yet when they make a movie about Ed Wood starring Johnny Depp, it's incredible. So not family friendly. Best of my recollection. Bob, I think you may have seen it and remind me if that's true or not, but I didn't verify, but I think it wasn't family friendly. All right, number 14. So this is definitely, Bob says worst movie of all time. I assume you're talking about the Plan 9 one. Yeah, it was just amazingly bad. Meryl Streep. Pam Sam says, I think least favorite role he did was Willy Wonka. I totally agree, Pam. Gene Wilder defined Willy Wonka. And I'm sorry, there's just some roles when somebody comes out and knocks it out of the park like that. I don't care how amazing the next actor does. Johnny Depp, he was very interesting in Willy Wonka, but I didn't like it at all because I like Gene Wilder. The first Willy Wonka was so much better. And so I think we're all in agreement on that. Texas Takes agrees. Mike Wheeler agrees. Pam did not care for that version. Me either. Could care less about it. All right, so now we're down to Meryl Streep. So I believe I might be right in saying that Meryl Streep has won probably more acting awards than just about anyone. And I mean literally anyone. She has... Now, I think as far as Academy Awards for Best Actress, I believe it's like 4, something like that. But she's won a ton of awards, and very diverse roles. I went back and I looked at her movies, and I said, which of these ones that I think was the best? And I couldn't find one that was like out of the park best for me. But I do remember Ironweed was one of that more sort of raw roles that she did. And I believe it was with Jack Nicholson. So it was a great performance. And Pam's Fam says she is my favorite actress. Totally get that, Pam. She is an amazing actress. Will go down as definitely one of the amazing actresses, period, of all time. So Mike Wheeler says, and can't really blame Johnny Depp on if it was more so the director. Yeah, exactly right, Mike. It's unfortunate for Johnny Depp that I'm sure he had to work in a few movies that didn't pan out as well. And that was definitely one of them. So Meryl Streep, Ironweed, definitely other good movies. I remember when she did the Julia Child one. She was amazing in that. Totally different kind of movie. But I chose Ironweed. So let's go on to number 13. Bob, here you go. You wanted to, I believe you were getting at this movie and this person. Please, confirm for me, but I'm hoping that's what you were thinking. Or you might have been thinking about a different one. But anyway, let me know. So Jeff Daniels in Gettysburg. Yeah. Gettysburg is mine and I believe Bob's favorite movie of all time. We've seen it more times than you can't imagine. And it's like a 4-hour movie. Jeff Daniels. What did you know Jeff Daniels for before? You knew him for Dumb and Dumber, and he was amazing in it. If you've watched that movie, I mean, I honestly believe he was the star of that movie. He was so good. But this was a much better movie, a much more inspiring movie, and his performance in it was just amazing. So I had to give him a freakishly good performance. Jeff Daniels. Great performance, and I highly recommend it. It's real history. It's done accurately, and yet it's done like a real quality drama movie. Martin Sheen was amazing in it. Tom Berenger was amazing in it. I know there was other good performances in there, so definitely check out Gettysburg if you have not. Mike Wheeler asks, wasn't Meryl in Mamma Mia? Yeah, she sure was. I never saw that movie, Mike, but I've sure heard a lot about that. So Pam Sam confirming. So we will go to the next movie. Next is number 12. And number 12 is Back to Platoon. So kind of odd here. I chose Tom Berenger, and I had him in my mind because he's an amazing actor, and he was in Gettysburg. But I wanted to give him best performance in Platoon. He was he was a bad guy, and he was an amazingly bad guy, and he did it incredibly well. And you notice that I'm not saying too much about the movies because if you haven't seen them and you plan to, I definitely don't want to spoiler alert them. But anyway, it's not hard to tell. Look at his picture here. You can see he looks like a bad guy, and he is. So, okay, so Tom Berenger in Platoon was number 12. Working our way down. Thanks for hanging in there. The 7 people that are with me. I forgot to say in the beginning, this is the AKA-DEANY Awards, if you didn't catch that from the title. So let's go on. Okay, this I strayed from my films. This is a TV show, and most of you I'm sure know the BBC Sherlock series starring Benedict Cumberbatch. And Benedict is he's an amazing actor. When I saw the first episode of Sherlock, totally blown away. He brought a whole new level of acting to that role. It was, I think, by far the best Sherlock I've ever seen. So definitely, I'm sure most of you have seen it. Benedict Cumberbatch in Sherlock. I did not put it in as family friendly because some of it is inappropriate. You definitely, Bob and I would, when we see movies, we try to use the clear play options, and I think that would be one you would want that on. Mike Wheeler says, I was way behind in the video my speak to text. Oh, I see. When I use it, pause the video, then restart it, and I forgot to go back and hit live button to catch up on what's going on. Well, Mike, thanks very much for being here. And yeah, again, hopefully that audio thing didn't cause too many problems. Bob says, yep, he was great in Sherlock. He sure was. So, it's just amazing. Fun to watch him in that. And Leanne, hey, Sooner Girl, how you doing? Look who is on tonight. Good to see you. You know, Leanne, this was, I was telling everybody earlier, I just got it in my head that I've had this in my mind for a long time. Got it in my head, I'm going to do it tonight. And I tell you, I was scrambling. In the end, I was typing and scrambling like you would not believe. But great to have Leanne here. Check out Sooner Girl's channel. I'm sure you guys know Leanne. Mike Willer likes Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, and he was in one of the Star Trek movies, and he played Khan. Amazing performance in there, and that was like one of the best new Star Trek movies. Leanne says she misses Bob at Epcot. Leanne, Bob misses you at Epcot too. I think he would like to be there. Let's see. Hey, Jim, more sunshine, please. Nice to have you here. Stopping by to give a like before I hit the set. Yeah, it's late, Jim, and this is a last-minute impromptu idea, but thank you very much for joining. You guys all know Jim, more sunshine, please. Did an awesome video covering the Beverly Challenge. So, and Jim and I are talking about doing something this fall, so hopefully that'll pull off, and thanks for being here, Jim. Noah says he's so amazing playing Doctor Strange. Right, if you're a Marvel fan, Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, he always brings a level of performance to every role. Okay, just checking up here. Okay, I'm caught up. Did it say Cucumberbatch, Mike? Oh, that's funny. But I have that kind of thing happen with Siri all the time. All right, number 10. We are down to the final 10. And if you're watching on the replay, or go ahead and hit that like button. I appreciate it. And subscribe and hit the bell, and you'll get notifications. I own Dreamer's Empire. I also do the Live Place and the liveplace.com. But this is definitely something I want to do under my Dreamer's Empire channel. So, all right. All right. Number 10. John Hurt, The Elephant Man. This is a movie that I loved. It's in my top 10 movie list when I did my top 10 movies. Some people consider it a little dark and a little depressing, but I really liked this movie. It was very touching. I would say no movie has moved me more to tears than The Elephant Man. And if you've seen it, you know exactly what I mean. Probably know exactly what scene I'm talking about. But John Hurt, unbelievable. He defined the Elephant Man for us. He made us understand a real person from history, and the trials of his severe deformity, and this doctor who befriended him. I really think that if you should sit down and watch The Elephant Man and stick through it, because it is a very moving and beautiful movie. So John Hurt hit it out of the park. I cannot imagine the makeup call he had every day to do this role. It was just astounding. Michael says, gotta love speak to text and autocorrect. Sometimes it makes funny sentences. It sure does. Okay. Was there a version with Cher? No, Pam Sam, what you're talking about, and that was another true story, and that was called, was it The Mask? Or it was a different story. It's about a different young man who had a similar kind of deformity, and Cher was his mother. And that was also a really good film, but it is not really the same story at all. So Leanne says, I remember watching that movie. Yeah, it was fantastic. I remember when it came out because it was right when I moved to Houston. So it was right around 1982, 83. Mask. Thanks, Texas Takes. Yeah, Mask. Another really great movie. That was, I think, Laura Dern that was like one of her first movies. Yeah, good version with Cher. Jim says yes, Mask, the Rocky Dennis story. Okay, I couldn't remember his name, but yeah, that's one I would highly recommend. All right, number 9. Will Smith. Now, Bob's going to chuckle a little bit because he knows I have a specific interest in Will Smith. I actually kind of wrote a film of my own, and my ideal person to play the starring role in that film was Will Smith. So I'm sharing that. I won't share much more, but Will Smith is a great actor. I think he's one of these actors who hasn't been nominated a lot, but he really, I think he was nominated for this role, but did not get the Academy Award. And I would just say this. Yeah, Genie, exactly right, Noah. Will Smith was, of course, the new Genie. But in Pursuit of Happyness, he plays a down-on-his-luck salesman who gets into the stock market as a career. And I want to tell you, there are moments in that film where he captures something. And so, Will Smith, number 9, The Pursuit of Happyness. Leanne says, I was thinking about watching this movie again recently. Yeah. And I remember it, Leanne, as a movie that was kind of tough to watch. There was moments of like frustration, like, oh, what this guy was having to go through. And it's a true story. And in fact, the guy that it's about explains that his life was worse than the movie conveys, which is unusual, right? And he had to live with his son in a bathroom at night because of his situation, and trying to do that, and oh my gosh, incredible movie, incredible true story. I put it as family friendly. Best of my recollection is family friendly. If anyone thinks differently, let me know. Marilyn says, LOL, we can think of a Disney character with a lot of the actors and actresses, huh, Noah? Yeah, I think you're talking about Aladdin. All right. Leanne says, I know, that's why I haven't watched it. You have to be mentally prepared to watch it. That is so true, Leanne. And that's the same way I felt about The Passion of the Christ. An incredible movie, but that's one that really takes a lot of mental preparation for me to watch again. And I saw it, once. I don't think I've gotten through it a second time. But Dean didn't pick those. Well, yeah, Mary Ellen, for me, this is it's a freakishly good performances. And I think if you're saying in the Disney sense, Disney movies I love, and one of my all-time favorite movies is Mary Poppins. But as far as top performances, yeah, I don't believe you're going to see a Disney one in the list. The one, Mike Willer says, the one Will Smith movie I did not care for him, and what is exactly, Mike Willer, The Wild Wild West. I did not care for that movie at all. I'm trying to remember that other actor's name that was in it. It was goofy. It just did not work. There was nothing I liked about it. If you like the Wild Wild West movie, sorry, but Mike Wheeler and I do not. And I agree with him on it. All right, so number 9, Will Smith, Pursuit of Happyness. All right, number 8. Oh, this is my, you would have never saw this one coming. This is such a minor role, but it was done so well. Adriane Lenox in The Blind Side. Now, if you've seen The Blind Side, hopefully you liked it as much as I did. I love The Blind Side. Don't blank out on her name. Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock played the mom, the principal role in this movie, and she won an Academy Award for it, and she deserved it. It was amazing. But freakishly good, Adriane Lenox as the drug addict mom of the football player, and it's probably a less than 5-minute scene, but she is so convincing as a drug addict that if you go back and watch that scene with her talking with Sandra Bullock, it is amazing. I don't know if she ever won any awards for this. She deserved an award. Such a small role, but such an amazing performance. So Adriane Lenox, I knew this would be one you would never guess in a million years. Mike Willer says, amazing, amazing, amazing movie. It was. I loved The Blind Side. My wife loved The Blind Side. You haven't seen The Blind Side, Leanne? Oh man, you've got to see The Blind Side. It was fantastic, and it's a true story. Pam's Fam says Owen Wilson, I think, was the other actor in The Wild Wild West. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just was not a fan of that one, and it just didn't work. They tried to make all these it was kind of like inserting technology into the old Wild Wild West. Didn't work at all. Number 7, Hilary Swank. Now, I put her right up there with the Emma Thompson, Meryl Streep level of acting. I've seen her in a few movies, but $1 Million Baby was one where just runaway, amazing performance. I believe she won the Academy Award for Best Actress. Not positive, but she definitely is a great actress. And one thing about Hilary Swank that I saw, and it's really interesting, is she lives in New York, I believe like Bradley Cooper does, and she just commutes around like an average person. She does not live a luxurious, could you say, swank lifestyle. She's just a normal gal. She takes the subway, and I admire her for it. I'd hate to have to be in hiding like some of these stars. That sounds awful to me. So Hilary Swank and the $1 Million Baby. Now this is one I put family friendly based on my recollection, but I'm not positive. It may have been rated R, and if it was, I'm sure for swearing. So definitely that one is iffy on the family friendly part. But anyway, great performance. Number 7, Hilary Swank. Mike Willer says Sandra Bullock played the leading role in The Blind Side. Yeah, she sure did. And, I've always liked Sandra Bullock. She's done a number of really good movies, but she definitely deserved the Academy Award in The Blind Side. Number 6. All right, now here's one that you would have to be of maybe my vintage to know who Charles Laughton is. I'm going to slow down just a little bit here. Mike Willer says, never seen $1 Million Baby. Yeah, it was just Clint Eastwood is really a good director, and he put together a very good movie. But anyway, Charles Laughton, you may know him if you have seen the old classic version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He played the Hunchback. And right now, I can't even remember the Hunchback's name. I want to say, it's not coming to me. But Charles Laughton played that role in the original big version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. But I put him in here for Les Miserables. And Les Miserables is a story of grace and how grace worked in this man's life who spent 10 years in prison, I believe, for taking a loaf of bread to feed his starving sister and her child. Quasimodo. Thank you, Mike. Good thing I got you guys on. And so Charles Laughton in Les Miserables, in the beginning, you see him becoming, a police officer, a constable, whatever they call it over there in France. And the level of acting, especially for back then, was so beyond what you would probably see that I was thoroughly impressed with him. Played the bad guy, but I'll tell you what, he was amazing. So Charles Laughton, one of the greatest actors of all time, Les Miserables, and I put that at number 6. Pam's Fam says, don't know how to spell it, but it is Quasimodo. Okay, so everybody remembered Quasimodo, and it was amazing. So, all right, thanks guys for hanging out with me. Honestly, I feel like it's not that I would mind having more people here, but just having a few people is nice too. Number 5. Now this is my second Daniel Day-Lewis pick, and it's for My Left Foot. My Left Foot is a true story about a handicapped guy over in, I want to say it's like Ireland or Scotland, somewhere over there in Europe, and Honestly, I don't remember a ton about the movie and the story, but this is one of those knockout performances where you get to see a side of life that is unpleasant. It's dark, but it's reality, and it was on the inside. This guy, whatever his real name was, he was an amazing person, a very artistic person, a very opinionated person, but he had this extreme handicap, and so Daniel Day-Lewis, as I said earlier, he buried himself in his roles to the point where that was who he was for the months he was filming. So Daniel Day-Lewis, number 5 for my left foot, not family friendly. Not even sure I really would recommend it. But I'm going to have a drink of water. Oh, okay. Now we know how to spell it too. All right, number 4. Now maybe some of you could maybe have guessed this one was coming. And I've seen other videos showing Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight, but I had to give it the nod. I am going to cough. Just give me a moment here. Not sure I'm done, but... Oh, sorry, I'm going to cough again. So Pam says, another actor sadly missed. Yeah, that was very sad. He was also in The Patriot, and I think that was his first big movie with Mel Gibson, and he was fantastic in there, but as the Joker, he was amazing. Now, I want to talk about the Joker this way. When I was a kid, Batman, the first TV series, was the thing. Bob may remember that. And the Joker was played by Cesar Romero. And he honestly brought a level to that role that was extraordinary. And so you kind of think, okay, so nobody's going to step in and do the Joker like Cesar Romero. Then they make Batman the movie with Michael Keaton. And who plays the Joker but Jack Nicholson? And an interesting story there, from what I heard, was that movie went belly up. They did not manage their finances well, whatever. But basically, Jack Nicholson walked away with like $60 million or something, and the movie ended up in the red. So, but Jack Nicholson was amazing. You're watching it, you're going, oh man, here's another fantastic performance of the Joker. Now, Heath Ledger comes out, does the Joker. He honestly trumped them all. It was the best Joker performance, albeit a little bit dark, yes, but amazing. And as Pam said, very sadly missed, and it was too bad to lose him here. Mike says, another one of those that when he got into his role, he really got into it. Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, it was just truly amazing. So, all right. When the audition for the role, he used Dollar Tree makeup for his... Oh, you're kidding. Dollar Tree makeup? Oh, that's funny. Well, I heard that when Michael J. Fox was bargaining for his role on Family Ties, he was so poor that he couldn't afford anything. He was on a payphone negotiating for this contract with Family Ties, but all he could see was this chicken restaurant across the way. And that's what he wanted at that moment. Anyway, interesting stories like that. Pam says, seen his biography documentary. It was awesome. Oh, I did not know that. Definitely I'll have to check that out. All right, let's go down to number 3. 10:48 my time here. And here we are. Russell Crowe, A Beautiful Mind. Now, definitely this movie was a huge success. He was nominated for Academy Award, did not win it. In my opinion, was a huge mistake. He had won an Academy Award for Gladiator. And when I compare the two roles, as much as I love Gladiator, I probably love Gladiator more as a movie, but as a performance, A Beautiful Mind was beyond description. It was so good. So I really was sorry he didn't win that. But I give him the nod here. Russell Crowe, Pam Sam saying, oh my goodness, he is my favorite actor. Well, I can understand that 100%, Pam. He was amazing in A Beautiful Mind. He was amazing in Gladiator, and he was amazing in Cinderella Man. So definitely love Russell Crowe. Giving him the nod at number 3 for A Beautiful Mind. And now here we go. We're getting down there. Number 2. Back to Daniel Day-Lewis. So a little bit of a surprise there for you is that I have Daniel Day-Lewis for 3 different roles. To me, he's just that good. And I put this is family friendly. There was some swearing in the movie, but the level of acting, and not just from Daniel Day-Lewis, but from Tommy Lee Jones and from a number of very good actors in that movie. Lincoln is a movie I watch over and over again because I just get so much out of it every time I watch it. So Daniel Day-Lewis, obviously my favorite actor, as I've chosen him for 3 roles. And that brings us to number 1. Mike says, did not see that movie either. Yeah, I recommend it. It really, what they did in Lincoln is they focused on, Steven Spielberg did the movie, and he was going to just do a movie about Lincoln, but then he focused on the 13th Amendment. And that's what made the movie work, I believe. And so, highly recommend Lincoln. And here we go. Okay. Not bad on the eyes either. Yeah, exactly. All right. My number 1. So here, there's 7 of you watching. Thanks so much. I appreciate you doing it. You know, it just means a lot to me. There's so many great live streamers out there, but I enjoy doing it, and I'm glad you guys could come. So we are at number 1. Now, before I say what number 1 is, I want to say, drum roll please. This role is not only to me the best role of all time, it far surpasses any other acting performance of all time. And it was kind of hinted to earlier by a couple people, I will say that. Now, does anybody have a guess? I'll give you this clue. The movie that he did this performance in was mentioned earlier. Pansan said, this is awesome being getting a point of view and some great movie recommendations. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Pam. I think, Pam, if I remember right, you were one of the people that made a comment about this movie, and I think you're going to agree with me. The number 1 best performance of all time, bar none, should be Leonardo DiCaprio. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? All right, let me read what Texas Take says. You did a great job on presentation. This must have taken so much time to prepare. Well done. Thank you very much, Texas Take. So it took many days of thinking, what were my favorite roles, and I missed some, and I might mention a few. But Gilbert Grape, the Leonardo DiCaprio was 18 or so when he filmed this. He looked more like a 14-year-old, and only a few years after this, he does Titanic. Contrast him with Titanic. This is an amazing performance. Of course, we mentioned Johnny Depp earlier, which he was in Gilbert Grape, and was amazing in. But Leonardo DiCaprio, my sister and I have always agreed, I believe Bob has agreed too, that This is a performance that if you haven't seen it, I did not put it down as family friendly because I felt, even though it wasn't too bad, that there was some context in it that for me, I wouldn't show it as a family movie. So Texas Takes, okay, first off, Mike Wheeler says, Leonardo was amazing in that movie. Can't believe he got his start from a bubblegum commercial. Oh, I did not know that at all. Because he was in that sitcom, right, Mike? I know he was in a sitcom when he was a young kid, so he must have got his start in a commercial. Texas Takes says, I talk about this movie all the time. Powerful performance. The birthday scene was so tough. Yeah, right. Oh, man. There were so many scenes that were beyond belief. Mike says, Leonardo is acid good in Basketball Diaries. You know, I never saw that one. Wow. I did not know he was in there. Bob says DiCaprio was unbelievably convincing in that role. And to contrast it, I remember years before that, Rain Man came out, and Dustin Hoffman played, Rain Man. And it was, at the time, we were all like, how did he do that? How did he do that? And then DiCaprio comes out and does Gilbert Grape, as Arnie was the name of his character. And it was just, blew everything away. So if you're watching, Leo, hey, you've got my nod as the best performance of all time. All right, Texas Takes a scene. Oh, yeah, the birthday scene was so tough. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's kind of where him and his older brother get, Gilbert, kind of reconcile, if I remember right. Yeah, the setting was a crazy dysfunctional. It was. And the woman who played the mom, who's a very large lady, she had passed on a while ago, and it was interesting. If you read the story behind it, she wasn't really an actress. They needed somebody of her size to fill that role, and she did it, and she was amazing. So thanks, Mary Ellen. I appreciate that. Thank you, Noah. Guys, it's been great having you here. I'm going to cut to the end. Planning on relaunching the Live Place news show at the end of October, so I'll keep you updated on Twitter and whatnot there. Thanks for joining, and we will talk to you guys soon.